Try that battery. Oh, that's fine. Batteries. Oh no!
How about I just pop it right here?
That could be quite fun.
And see what happens.
Maybe.
We're a bit hungover today, so the vlog doesn't make any sense today. It's quite alright. We stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning last night. Hello, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Radi and I'm a cinematographer, and this is the vlog. And that right here is Lily.
Hello!
Today is Sunday, and there is nothing really cinematography-wise happening that I can record today. So what I decided I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of a follow-up of the vlog from yesterday. So I don't know if you've seen the vlog from yesterday, but basically it was everything we talked about last night.
Cool, yeah.
Which is about story and writing and writing in characters and buildings and just diving into the story and circling around that little box of the gem that's inside of it. Tell me, so you made something very interesting last night about structure. Tell me about your process about structure.
Right.
And I'm making interviews on the vlogs now. Look at that, it's fucking brilliant.
So basically I was just talking about the idea of the use of detail in a story is what a writer kind of needs in order to populate their world and understand what it is they want to tell, but essentially the structure is what you need to hang it on. So there needs to be this kind of balance between a structure that can give your story a kind of form, something that's going to make it make sense for an audience, but at the same time is having enough detail for you to make it either believable or for you to feel like there's something that you know, there's something specific that either makes sense as a logical storyline or something which really captures your imagination. So for instance, I always think in something like Jurassic Park, the bit where he's got the jelly on the spoon that she's shaking when she's afraid, that's a vibrant detail that a writer could have come up with. And there's no structure to that necessarily. They didn't even need to know how that fit in the story. Someone could have said, I want a bit where a girl's got jelly and she's scared and she's shaking. And they have that and that's all they've got. And then they're going to have to spend a long time circling around trying to make sense of where would that moment
finding the why.
Yeah, how does that jigsaw piece then fit into a broader puzzle? Because if you fail in that, you've then ruined the moment. Because the moment then just becomes a throwaway or a piece of a kind of cosmetic moment. It's not integral to the storyline. So as a writer, you're in a weird position of having the final image in your mind, a kind of fuzzy version of the final image, and then you've got these weird mini jigsaw pieces that you come up with, they're details, and it's kind of your job to work out how to fit them into the puzzle. And it might be that the final image you originally had has to then alter to fit the pieces you've invented. And sometimes you think, am I, by altering this picture to accommodate this detail, have I ruined the picture? That's sometimes the hard thing, where you realise your structure is really good and you're actually just trying to shoehorn a detail in. But conversely, sometimes you think, actually, the structure needs to be thrown out the window. This detail is so excellent that my whole structure needs to be.
Which basically is something that we discussed last night, which is different approaches. There is not a single approach towards story. It's the only thing that's constant in story writing and script writing is that the metaphor of a box and the story hidden inside of it. Nobody knows how to fucking open the box. The story is locked inside, and writing it is finding all these little compartments that you need to move around to get to the story. These compartments could represent structure, could represent characters, could represent fucking backstory of a building that doesn't make any sense for the actual story, but adds to the weight of the mood, the feel, the story, dictates different interactions, and it's different. I think there is also a version where all these things are intertwined, where you change a character, that changes the structure, or you change the structure and that introduces a character, or a character splits in two, and all of a sudden, because it's a machine that has cogs and it moves together, and if all of a sudden if something's lacking, it's probably because you're missing a person, and you go back and rewrite a person, and that changes all of the interactions in the beginning, and all of a sudden the prologue is a fucking ending.
But sometimes you find, for instance, like you've got a script and you think, there needs to be a surprise here, this bit's missing a surprise, right? Like we need a twist moment here. And you're like, well, what if one of the characters, I don't know, this is a weird example, but what if one of the characters betrayed the other guys? If you then decided that structurally needs to happen, you then have to then switch back into detail mode and go, well, who has the motivation that might make that happen? Or if they haven't got any motivations, how can I give one of those motivations?
Who knows? When they're going to find out, how they're going to find out.
What kind of character, why, okay, so if I want a surprise here, why do the rest of them not know what this person knows? Or why did that person act differently to everybody else.
How they got the information.
Yeah, and and there's another element to that. Logically, how does that work in terms of the story, if you imagine them as real people? But then also you need to ask the question, well, how does the audience know his motivation? You know, have we been given a scene of him on his own, planning this thing that he's going to surprise everybody else in Act 3? Or is it a surprise to the audience as well, or is it only a surprise to the characters? And then so you have a whole other set of questions to ask, because what the characters know and what the audience know aren't always the same thing. So structurally, there's like two structures. There's a structure of what the characters go through, and then the structure of what the audience understand. And they can match, but in like a Christopher Nolan kind of way, where films are often chopped and changed, they're not always the same thing. So actually you're working on detail, and then there's two levels of structure for you to deal with, which makes it even more complicated.
Yeah, that was a natural stop.
Yeah, I did it.
There are different ways that you can approach your story, the different ways that you can treat your story, the different ways that you can write your story. God damn it, there are different languages you can write your story.
Okay, so I'm going to launch the robot one now.
There is not a formula that you can use to do it. The only constant thing is chipping into it. That's
here we go.
It's stirring the pot of asking questions. That's the only thing that's always constant. Doesn't matter where the writer comes from. It doesn't matter what kind of genre you write. It's always the question why, how, and what. How they know that? Why do they know it? How did they kept it from everybody else? And things like that, and who else knows about it?
And the other thing is, I think there's no formula to it. So if at any point you find yourself completely stuck, just change the mode you're working in. If you're stuck on one way of doing it, you've been approaching it all day through character motivation, stir the pot, do it a different way. Even for 5 minutes, and then come back.
I've heard people do something very interesting, which is create fictional situations for characters, and they put them in these fictional situations just to see how they interact with each other.
Like a hypothetical scene that you never actually get in the film.
I like take somebody from the Alien and plop them in a diner. What do they say around the dining table? What do they order? Like, did they tip the waiter? Did you look back at the girl?
I like that because that's actually, for me, reminds me of like a theatre hot seat process. You used to do that in theatre if you're playing a character. They'd ask you to sit on a seat, and your people who you're acting with would ask you questions, and you had to improv as the character. And we used to do that when I used to rehearse in theatre, and it was sometimes some of the best things you could do because you found yourself uncovering motivations you didn't know the character had. Or someone would ask you an unexpected question, or someone would say, well, how would you react to this? And it wasn't anything that was in the play, but it was a process of walking around the character and learning about them, understanding them through a hypothetical situation. I like that a lot. I think that's really useful tool.
Also, I'd like to address what's happening behind us, which is VR. It's happening behind us, so it's a bit that in-depth conversation about story was
done in front of this.
Yes, exactly. I'm gonna go and have a glass of wine.
Okay.
I like the plan.
Thank you.